Hey, in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at an update from UAD, which is called UAD Spark. And what it is that they've released a subscription service that doesn't require UAD hardware. So it's basically a limited number of their plugins that'll be running natively, and you pay a subscription price and you get some virtual instruments and things like that. That's not really that interesting to me. And currently, I don't think it's a particularly good deal as far as the subscription goes. But if you already own UAD hardware, like an Apollo interface, and you own any of the plugins that are in the subscription bundle currently, you will be issued a free native license, an iLok license, that you can run in your DAW natively. Now, I had thought that they probably would do this, but initially I had thought that if they were going to do it, they would probably do it with Universal Audio's Luna and restrict access to the plugins. They'd be exclusive to Luna. So it's a pleasant surprise that they've actually released universal versions of their plugins natively that'll run in any DAW. They're in a different folder than the ones that you would normally have. So I put mine in the UADx folder so that they're separate, so I know which ones are the native versions and which ones aren't. But currently you have the 1176 collection, the LA2A collection, the API Vision channel strip, Pure Plate Reverb, and the Studer A800. There are a couple others, but those are the ones that I own. My Apollo interface is a quad core. At the minute, it's using a certain amount of DSP, and that's being used by my voiceover inserts. So I've got the API Vision. I'm just using a bit of compression and the noise gate. And then I've got Precision de-esser. And then the Little Labs Voice of God. So that's using up a percentage I can't read. Let's see what that says. That's using 13% of my DSP. But if I add, say, let's just go in here, and I'm actually using the API Vision and the Studer. So these are the native versions. And they're not using up any DSP. So what I can do is I'll just go ahead and I'll add a bunch of stuff. So there's the revision E. The API Vision. Just randomly loading these up. There's Pure Plate Reverb. A Studer tape machine. So yeah, if I was loading those up off the DSP, you would expect to see the DSP increase, but as you can see, it's still at 13%. So that's awesome. If you look at the Cubase performance monitor, I mean, it probably hasn't even budged. So if I remove those plugins, if you pay attention to here, let's see if that goes down at all. It'll go down and then back up again. Sort of like when you remove a plugin, it resets in Cubase now. So basically having those native plugins running there wasn't affecting the performance meter in Cubase at all. This processor is a 6-core i7 8700. In terms of sound, they don't really sound any different at all. Basically the sound that you expect from the DSP versions, just native.
My part, I'll do to be me. I wish you could be here now to lay by my side. You're breathing the softest sound as I gaze in your eyes.
So it's just testing this out against the Slate Custom-Opto. So that's the 1176. The LA2A silver. That's the Vision channel strip.
I know we're a world apart, but I can still feel you. I feel you inside my heart. How could this not be true? I wish you could be here now and lay by my side. You're breathing the softest sound as I gaze in your eyes.
So yeah, really cool update from UAD. Nice surprise. Something that I would really like to see would be the likes of, let me see, the Ocean Way Studios plugin running natively, because it uses up quite a bit of DSP. DSP's jumped up a fair bit there from that. Another one would be the Capital Chambers, which is another massive DSP hog. So you can see there, like, it's basically taking up a quarter almost of the available processing. So that one would be great. Another one that takes up a lot would be it's not showing up there, but the Thermionic Culture Vulture, which uses up quite a lot as well. And then the 175B, which I would absolutely love to see get a native version. Again, takes up a lot of processing. And let me see, the 176, which is its kind of sister in that collection. You get those two plugins as a collection, the 175B and the 176, and they just have a really, really nice tube sound to them. So I would love to see those. Another one that's quite DSP hungry is the ATR 102, the Ampex tape. Weirdly, it's not running natively yet. It is if you're using Luna. You can use it inside Luna, no problem. So there is a native version, but it's exclusive to Luna. So it'll be interesting to see if that comes. But yeah, like you can see they're just adding those plugins that aren't running natively, that it's chewed through most of the available processing on the Apollo Twin, which has 4 cores. So basically, the more of these plugins that go native, the better. Particularly Capital Chambers, Ocean Way Studios, super handy. And these are probably my favorite compressors from UAD. I would love to see those. So at the minute, I mean, if they were to add all of these plugins that are on screen right now to their current sort of subscription, it would really sell itself. I think people would be much more likely to subscribe and pay the price if stuff like this was available. Thermionic, Culture Vulture, basically anything that they have that's pretty unique to their platform, but also for UAD users who already own these plugins, they're really DSP heavy, and they just, take a lot of the resources away from the interface. The plus of this is that people who own an Apollo can use the DSP to track in low latency, so monitor through these plugins or track through them, and then their computer resources are free to basically use them natively to mix if these plugins go native. They're being pretty tight-lipped about it, but I'm hopeful that these two will go native, that this will go native, that this will go native, and this. But eventually, hopefully they all go native. Also, one that doesn't really get much praise or spoken about is the Precision DSR, which has actually become my favorite DSR, and I never really see people talking about it, but it's really, really easy to dial in and quite natural results. So if you don't have that one, it's definitely worth checking out. But yeah, that's my thoughts on UAD Spark. I'm actually really happy that they've done this. I was a little bit disappointed when I realized that it wasn't their whole collection of plugins, but I guess they're phasing out their satellites and they're just going to sort of drip feed their native versions of plugins over time. But if you own an Apollo interface and you own these plugins, being gifted the native versions is really cool move by UAD, and I applaud them for that. I just hope that they keep it up and add more value there for the existing users and also for the subscription users who don't have any UAD hardware and have no interest in it. The subscription could get really interesting because there are a lot of plugins there that people sort of have looked at and went, oh, I'd love to try that, but I'm not going to buy that hardware. Now, you might not have to. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'll be back with more videos soon, and hopefully you find this one interesting. Cheers.